One Piece, 10 Most Selfish Characters, Ranked. One Piece's antagonists are notoriously selfish, willing to sacrifice everything and anyone for the sake of their own power. The world of One Piece is filled with characters who set out to the sea to accomplish their goals. In fact, the majority of the pirates in the world are neither good or bad. Most of them, even the likes of Luffy, are no heroes and are thus selfish to some extent. However, there are a few characters whose selfishness and desire to hold others in their grip distinguishes them from the rest. These characters, mostly villains, use whatever means necessary to accomplish their goals, and use people as their pawns to earn the glory they crave. 10. Buggy uses people around him to gain greater notoriety. Buggy the Clown was introduced in One Piece's Orange Town arc ere his connection to Shanks was revealed to fans. From his childhood days, Buggy was rather selfish, as proven when he wanted to sell the Bara Bara no Mi for money. Years later, Buggy made others do the dirty work in Impel Down and use every means available to escape. After the events of the Paramount War, Buggy became a Shichibukai, and Buggy's delivery made use of other pirates as pawns to attain greater power. 9. Enel planned to destroy everyone in his path. Enel came to Skypiea around 6 years before the beginning of Luffy's journey and took over the entire place in pursuit of his goal of getting to Fairy Verth. For years, he had the soldiers of Dawnfall build Arc Maxim, and once the process was completed, he planned to use the same arc to strike the entire Skypiea down to the Blue Sea. Enel believed himself to be a god, and according to him, he was worthy of everything fine. He planned to go where nobody else did, and even though Luffy put a stop to him, he succeeded in reaching Fairy Verth eventually. 8. Arlong crushed everyone in the East Blue for his benefit. Arlong was a member of the Sun Pirates under Fisher Tiger at one point, but after the death of the captain and Jinbe's rise to Shichibukai, Arlong left the group and set out for the East Blue. There, he inflicted pain and misery upon humans for his selfish gain, by practically enslaving people and making them pay for their lives. Arlong gained complete control over Gosa and Kokoyashi village. To protect himself from the Navy's eyes, he bribed them and continued his atrocities until Luffy finally put an end to his tyranny. 7. Caesar Clown had free reign under the protection of the Yonko. Caesar Clown was introduced in One Piece's Punk Hazard arc, where he played the role of the main antagonist. At one point, Caesar worked with Vegapunk and was always second to him. Out of envy, he killed hundreds of people and manipulated thousands more just so he could carry on his vile experiments and prove himself better than Vegapunk. He even kidnapped kids and experimented on them, which makes him one of the worst villains in the entire story. 6. Blackbeard stole everything from his father, Whitebeard. Marshall D. Teach, now known as Blackbeard, was an orphan who was taken in by Whitebeard when he had nobody to rely on. By growing up under his care and learning from him, Teach became as strong as he is today. But he stabbed his father in the back when he killed Thatch to steal the Yami Yami no Mi. From there, he jumped ship and started the Blackbeard Pirates. Later, he captured Ace and handed him over to the Navy to trigger the Paramount War. During the war itself, Teach appeared towards the end and killed Whitebeard. Then stole his devil fruit and declared himself invincible. 5. Wapol almost destroyed a nation for his own gain. Wapol was once the king of Drum Island, and during his reign, he completely abandoned his people. Although Wapol's father is said to have been a good king, Wapol himself turned out to be one of the worst monarchs in the entire story. By keeping all of Wapol's doctors reserved for his personal care, Wapol deprived his people of basic medical treatment. When Blackbeard attacked Drum Island, Wapol abandoned the people and fled from the island to save his life. Later, he returned only to reclaim power in the country but was stopped by Monkey D. Luffy. 4. Don Quixote Doflamingo wanted to control everything in the world. Doflamingo was the main antagonist of One Piece's Dressrosa arc, widely regarded as One Piece's best villain. Doflamingo was purely evil and incredibly selfish. Doflamingo brought together people who he appeared to care for, but only as long as they were useful to him. He treated everyone as pawns in his game and manipulated his way to power, taking down a country in a single night. Eventually, he planned to become the king of the world, but his time came to an end before that. 3. The Celestial Dragons believe everything is their property. The Celestial Dragons in One Piece are known to be some of the worst people around. Each dragon lacks a basic human conscience. They live on top of the Red Line in the holy land of Mariehua. When they come down to the surface, they take people as slaves without any regard for their lives. Furthermore, they have the admirals at their service all the time, meaning they hold one of the greatest powers in the story at their beck and call. 2. Imu and the Gorosei wield more power than the Celestial Dragons. Imu was recently introduced in One Piece as the king of the entire world, and the Gorosei are his direct subordinates. They share the greatest power in the entire story out of all the series' antagonists thus far and have completely changed history for their benefit, to protect themselves and make their own gains. They've wiped islands off the face of the earth, proving how incredibly selfish they are. Both of these powers rank even higher than the Celestial Dragons, making them the root of almost all the suffering in the world. 1. Kurozumi Orochi is the worst villain in One Piece so far. Kurozumi Orochi is the shogun of Wano Country and one of the main antagonists of the Wano Country arc. Orochi started as a mere servant to Shimotsuki Yasui and slowly began stealing from him. By manipulating the people, he became the interim shogun of the country, but when Oden returned to reclaim what was his, he refused to give up power. Orochi drove Wano into the ground and destroyed the country for his amusement. He fed smile fruits to common people and deprived them of their ability to show grief. Furthermore, he enslaved all those who rose against him and enjoyed mercilessly slaughtering everyone who opposed him just for his gratification.